Yes. Yeah.
Well, it's almost time to church and almost set up by now. Running a little late today.
Well, we're right on time. Everything is in its divine right order. Thank you, Blaine. 1 minute to 11. We start exactly on the minute.
That's unusual.
It is, yeah. Well, welcome everybody. Hallelujah. This happens to be a special day. Reverend Julie's going to give us a message that she's going to knock your socks off. Just be prepared. After the music and all the good stuff we introduce you to, we're going to have somebody do announcements. In fact, I'm going to have Sue do that right away. Let's get started. What do you say? It's 11 o'clock. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. It's 11 o'clock. I can see the sock. Oh, hallelujah. Sue, can you come forward?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good morning, everyone. Is there anyone joining us for the first time? Not you. If so, we do have a package of information that we could hand out to you, but it looks like everybody's here that we know. I would like to introduce myself. My name is Susan Naslund, and most of you probably know me, but I'm the president of the Board of Trustees here at Woodland Chapel. And the Board of Trustees here is requesting that active members attend the next regular board meeting, which is July 12th at 1 o'clock. Please look for an email and a letter sent through the U.S. Postal Service with details about a proposed change to our church bylaws, as revised at a special meeting on July 13th, 2014. It's been a little while. This action will be the first item on our agenda, and so you won't need to stay for any discussions about additional business. So if you have not sent your renewal in for this year, please do so that you can join us for our forum. So you need to be a member, and we do have membership applications or renewals out in the lobby here. So Cheryl Guest will be conducting another Introduction to Science of Mind on July 26th for new members. Anyone who wants to know what we teach can attend that class, and there's a sign up in the lobby there. And is there anything else? That's it. Is that it? Okay.
Yeah, but
I never forget.
I'm going to tell on Blaine because Blaine is always here on First Sunday, and you will be here on First Sunday next week, right? And he says, just always put me down on Potluck Sunday, so. So, sign up for anything that you want to bring to Potluck, because it is, after all, potluck. I learned that potluck actually means potluck. Sometimes we're luckier than other days. So also this morning, and we forget sometimes to welcome those people who watch online. And we do have a number of people who watch online, and we really appreciate you as members and part of the congregation too. Some of the people actually live in different states, which is pretty cool. I haven't learned to navigate online classes or anything yet, which I think we need to do probably, because a lot of this is online these days. And it's wonderful that the sad part about that is we can't give people hugs in person. The wonderful part about that is if you live somewhere where there's no center or teaching chapter, you can actually tune into lots of wonderful services on Sunday morning. So, and welcome, Blaine. It's not Potluck Sunday, and I don't think we have food today of any sort, but we're so glad that you're here.
Okay, I think the words are in your program there. I got up this morning singing, God is so good. I got up this morning singing, God is so good. I got up this morning singing, God is so good. My God is so good to me. Feeling good down in my soul. God is so good. Feeling good down in my soul. God is so good. Feeling good down in my soul. God is so good. My God is so good to me. Well, in my time of trouble, singing, God is so good. Yeah, in my time of trouble, singing, God is so good. In my time of trouble, singing, God is so good. My God is so good to me. In my time of triumph, singing, God is so good. In my time of triumph, singing, God is so good. In my time of triumph, singing, God is so good. My God is so good to me. Well, when my day is over, singing, God is so good. When my day is over, singing, God is so good. When my day is over, singing, God is so good. Yeah, God is so good to me. Well, every way, God is so good. Every day, every way, God is so good. Every day, every way, God is so good. My God is so good to me. Yeah, I got up this morning singing, God is so good. And I got up this morning singing, God is so good. I got up this morning singing, God is so good. My God is so good. My God is so good. My God is so good to me. Prayer here. Test one. There we are. Let this great power wash through, wash through. Oh, let this great power wash through, wash through. I don't have to wonder what to say or what to do. I just let this great power wash through. Oh, let me see God's light in you. Oh, let me see God's light in you. I don't have to seek to see the truth. Just let me see God's eyes in you. Oh, let this great power wash wash through. Let this great power wash through. I don't have to wonder what to say, what to do. I just let this great power wash through. I just let this great power wash through, wash through.
And as we let this great power wash through, wash over us and around us and through us, we know the magnificence and the perfection that this power holds. Not a separate entity, not a separate energy, but the energy that flows through us. The energy that works in our lives and allows us to be. So I just embrace that, and I know that, and I speak the words for this service, for the blessings of these moments, for the energy of the music, the energy of these beings, this community that's around me, energizing me as we energize each other to do the work that we're here to do. Every act of kindness is a service for spirit, a smile, a thank you. All of these are what we're here to do. Just embrace that perfection that we are. And I'm grateful to know this truth. I'm grateful to know this truth today and always in all of my days. And with this gratitude in my heart, I simply release this word into the law of the universe, knowing it is done as spoken, and through grace so much more. And please join me in saying, and so it is. There's a group affirmation in your program in blue. I invite you to join me in saying, today I chose to confront the shadow and to reclaim my God-given power, and so it is.
About this time we do a reading, comes out of the Science of Mind magazine. And I always say this, golly, if you're not reading that magazine, you're missing something. That's a great magazine. The title of the guide in there is called What I Know for Sure. And says, I therefore tell you, whatever you ask for in prayer, believe that you have received it and it will be yours. That's out of Mark 11:24, right out of Scripture. And Dr. Ernest Holmes always has something to say. This thing called you, he wrote this: to realize that God is ever present, ever available, is to know that all the wisdom, the intelligence, and the power of the universe is right where you are. Your word is power when you know this. And then in the body of this, Reverend Green has written these guides for this past month, and she says this. She says, I know life is amazing and also can be terrifying. I know life is abundant and offers, you know what? I need some glasses. How does that sound? Can I borrow some glasses? Thank you. I come with I think perfect eyesight, and all of a sudden, there it is, perfect eyesight. Correct. Thank you. Anyhow, the body starts out. I know life is amazing and also can be terrifying. I know life is abundant and often there's scarcity. I know there's kindness and goodness, and yet there's also hatred and resentment. She says, I know most of the time life doesn't seem to make sense, and the problems of the world appear to be incredibly overwhelming. And yet, what I know for sure is that there is a power for good, a source of creativity and peace and joy. And whatever you may call this presence, I know it as love. I know love is unconditional, everlasting, ever present, even in the midst of confusion and sorrow and pain. I know love is everywhere, and it's in everyone. And I am willing to see beyond the contradictions of this world, to see love in every person. I love to say, Namaste. I am willing to see beyond confusion, to know the presence of love is at the center of every activity. And what I know for sure is that you and I are on this amazing journey to know and see love for each other and ourselves. And I know that even in the midst of fear and doubt, our prayers are always answered. I know that, as Dr. Holmes wrote, prayer is not an act of overcoming God's reluctance, but should be an active acceptance of God's highest willingness. I know you are abundantly blessed with God's gifts of love, joy, and peace. And she puts an affirmation on that. I'd like you to repeat this short affirmation with me. I know the presence of love is at the center of every activity. And so it is. Thank you.
When I first came to New Thought, I was pretty excited. I'd never realized I could have a community that thought like I did. So I started taking classes, and sometimes it was pretty challenging. I would just have to take a break, and I called that break Dent the Spirit. Hey, hey. One tiny cell at a time. I guess my voice isn't coming through for some reason. It's not going, there it is. Healing old wounds and purging pain and fear. And of course, the masks. Don't forget the masks. So slow to come to wholeness. So much growth to be won. So I smile, shrug, kick off my shoes, and let the dancer come to call. I'm dancing with the spirit, spinning in a moment of time. I'm dancing with the Spirit. God is joy, joy is mine. Joy is mine. I could make of my life a manger, let a baby Jesus be born. Let spirit grow and innocence reign, where light and power and miracles dwell, where loving eyes see all humanity is one, and we all share the earth. Don't forget Mother Earth. When my Pharisees come and ask me, who do I think I am? Well, I'd smile, shrug, and give them a hug. Let the dancer come to call. I'm dancing with the Spirit, spinning in a moment of time. I'm dancing with the Spirit. God is joy, joy is mine. Joy is mine. I could think of myself as used. I could let other people tell me I'm wrong. But I believe we're perfect spirit. We've just taken human form. I'm dancing with the Spirit. You can dance too. Spinning in a moment of time. I'm dancing with the Spirit. God is joy, joy is mine. Yes, I'm dancing. Oh, I'm dancing. I'm dancing with the Spirit. God is joy. God is love. And God is mine. All the time.
Isn't he awesome? Yeah. Let's give him one more hand for just the joy.
Oh, shucks.
What I love about the music is it brings joy, and it's an energy of joy and waking us up to possibility. So today, it's going to be kind of deep work, I think. So, hang on and stay seated. So what I'm talking about is confronting our shadow and reclaiming our power. Now, what I love about our teaching is that it's grounded in spiritual principles that we can prove in our life, and also offers this mystical relationship with the divine. It's both mystical and practical, and it works, and we're invited to prove it out in our own lives. And so we know two important things. We know we are one with all that is. All that is. Blaine talked about nature and Mother Earth and each other. And all that is. Our source. Not only one with our source, but a divine expression of that source. And when we get to wrap our minds around that, it's pretty darn cool. And so then the second thing is that about our thoughts. And of course, we talk about that a lot. That thoughts, thought enough, become beliefs. And beliefs become a mirror out picturing in our life what we believe. Now, I know this, So because I know this, I can claim my power, right? And find a peace and a life that really works. Isn't that, I mean, we all know that, right? And it works, right? But maybe not all the time, right? So theoretically, this is very easy. This is how it works, so we work it, right? And it works for us. Well, which brings me to what I want to explore today. How come it doesn't always work instantly? And the shadow. I was halfway through ministry school before I had even heard of the shadow. I was Pollyanna positive, probably to the point of being obnoxious. And I was taking a class at the university on counseling, and the professor, he probably zeroed in right on into that positive self, which I thought was awesome. You know, isn't that what we want to be? And he said, have you ever actually looked at your shadow? And I'm like, I don't have a clue what he's talking about. I don't have a clue. But I have done a lot, because once we start this work, right, things begin to happen in our life. And some of them are difficulties, right? And it's like, why? Well, those difficulties I learned are really, really important to open us up, to take us deeper. Because it would be really fun just to stay on the surface and have a good time. So, for those unfamiliar with the concept of the shadow, according to psychologists and spiritual practitioners, it's the part of ourselves that we disown. It's part of ourselves that we dislike. And who I am is not okay. We want to be that New Year's Eve self to the world. And so we disown that. And does that make sense? Is there a part of you that you dislike? I mean, that idea of disowning a part of ourselves is that we don't like, so we disown it. So how does the shadow form? Well, in families, in school, in every part of our life, our peer groups, religion. I remember once distinctly being very quiet, and I guess I must have been reading a book. And I remember the adults in the room said, she's so good. Look how quiet and good she is. And I just felt so good. The adults approved of me. And, you know, I really wanted to be that, and I wasn't. So that quiet part only lasted a very brief time. And so the translation in the logic of a child is, well, if this is good, then this is not good. So there's a part of us, and it sounds positive, that we put in the shadow part of us. Part of us is not acceptable. And you know, religion is really good at that. And I think most religions, we're mostly familiar with Christian religions and how the sexuality becomes a shadow. And I mean, particularly in the two religions that I grew up with. And hence all the scandals. Now, I'm going to get to a little bit on why that is true in just a moment. But I want to tell you a little story. One of the reasons why. Robert Bly says this: every part of our personality we do not love will become hostile to us. Now, that may be a new concept, but think about it for a while. Is there anybody here who has had moments of self-sabotage? Those are the repeated patterns that do not work for us, but we repeat them over and over again. So why is this work important? Because the shadow parts of us are broken off. And to be fully alive, we have to have our wholeness. And you see, those shadow parts, they're us, But we put them behind us in the dark and we're not going to look at them so they don't exist. But in order to be fully alive, we have to be whole. Now, I want to tell you a little story on myself. Many of you know my husband passed away a month ago. And in that process, there's a lot of paperwork. And one of the things you have to deal with is Social Security and the government. So I have this thing about that. And so we start, and one of my daughters is here today, which I'm thrilled about. And the other daughter was helping with Social Security, and it took a while to get through. And then the first person, it was very difficult. Second person was really good. She told me what I needed to know. And then I got a letter in the mail that laid it all out. Well, I'm really obsessive about finances, so every day I check my bank account. And there was some money from Social Security, and I'm like, oh, that shouldn't be there. This is all wrong. It's all messed up. You know, they need to take their money back, and is this how they're going to do it? And I was like, oh, no, I have to deal with the government. And so I called. The first day one, I'm on hold for 2 hours. I called at 3. And then I got disconnected because it was quitting time. Oh, my belief is showing up so well. Day 2, I'm on hold, but I get a hold of somebody who apparently we cannot communicate. We speak a different language, probably quite literally. But we're just not connecting. And I'm saying, but you gave me money I don't owe. And so anyway, we weren't connecting. Okay, so then they say call early. So the next day, I call really early, and the phone answers. And I almost put it on hold because I thought it was a recording. Oh, okay, I skipped a day. Sorry. After all of this, all my beliefs were played out, and I'm having to deal with the government. You know how I say government. So in the middle of that, Don, I called Don, or Don called me, and I'm telling him my woes. And he says, well, let's just know that it is going to be smooth and perfect, and there is only the oneness. So he did a prayer treatment for me. And here's the thing, you guys. If you're in the middle of a muddle you can't solve, call your prayer practitioner, because they can hold the truth for you when we can't see it for ourselves. So Don does this treatment, and he says, it's just all going to work out just beautifully and fine. So the next day, 9 o'clock, I'm on the phone. The phone answers. And like I said, I almost put on hold. I thought it was a recording. Because who gets a person these days? In fact, they announce themselves, I am AI, I'm not a person. You're like, we all know this, don't we? You're with me, right? I am getting sympathy. So it was a person. And they explained it so clearly in words I could understand. And it was like, and I was so pleased with her. I thanked her, and I almost told her I'll be praying for you all day, but then I thought that would sound really weird. So I was just so thrilled. I couldn't believe it. I was so thrilled. Do you see what happened? There was a shift in my thinking because Don did that prayer, or there was his prayer overrode my government phobia. But after that, I began to think about it. This is a recurring pattern. And what I know, and I was working on the shadow information, what I know about recurring patterns is that they reflect something deeper. There's my belief that it's going to be difficult talking to the government. But underneath that belief, it comes from somewhere. So I've really been looking at that. At what part of myself did I not own? And, the sense of power. And I'm not going to go into it because I'm still working on this, you guys. I'm still working on this. But, it's like I have this bench, and I love this bench. And so not this daughter, my other daughter, very efficient about cleaning out my place. And she said, this bench is broken, we got to get rid of it. Well, the bench is broken, and so it isn't fully functional. I can sit on it if it leans against and supported by the wall. But because part of it is broken off, I cannot move it, I cannot use it in different ways. You see, that's kind of like when we break off parts of ourselves and don't own them. We're not fully functional. It's like when we do our work with one hand tied behind our back. And the shadow part is very powerful, you guys. And I want to talk a little more about the shadow, why it's powerful. But I'm going to tell you another story. And I have a cousin who I dearly love. She's one of my favorite people. I've known her since she was born. And we were talking recently because she's such a dear, good, lovely person. And I was telling her, and she said, well, I made up my mind as a kid I wasn't going to be like my brothers. Her brothers were wild things. Now, I loved them all, but they were in trouble all the time. They were in trouble from the time they were little, and then they were in trouble from the time they rode motorcycles and continued to crash. And anyway, she'd made up her mind she wasn't going to be like her brothers, which really was kind of a good thing. But in the process of doing that, any part of her, and here's the thing about the shadow, you guys, I'm going to interrupt myself. We can see other people's shadows really well. Or when we get to know this, we can see other people. It's harder to see ourselves. That's why I'm having such trouble working through what I know is something deep in my own self. But her I could see, because I've watched her over the years. So what she did is take all of those parts that she identified as her brother, their total freedom, and their ability to just do what they wanted to do. And those pieces are in all of us. We have a wholeness in all of us. And she put those in her shadow box, because I've watched her. So she became she's a caretaker. And I think she would have been anyway a little bit. But she's a caretaker. And so her mother died, and she was there to help take care of her. And then her daughter died. And she was taking care of everybody else. I was watching her. It was a year or two later. And then, because her father was in his 90s, she came to live with him. And love him, but I wouldn't want to live with him. He could be difficult. But she came to live with him. And it was an atrocious year, of course, but she's a caretaker and she's not like her brothers. She got spinal cancer that year. Because I was thinking, why are you doing this? Why are you here? You lost your daughter. Instead of taking care of herself. Now, this is all my judgment, but I know her really well. So she has been in treatment for years. Then her father died. And they're moving back to the home place, which is the ranch where we all grew up. And her husband decides to move them 8 hours from Wyoming without a moving van. I said, why did you do that? Well, because he wanted to, and there's no disagreeing with him. And I thought, you know, my disagreement came up, but it wasn't my business. So I watched her go downhill that year, and she's still on treatment. But there was this part of her. Now you can say I'm making this, but it's an observation. When we put that shadow part into behind us and we don't look at it, the parts that we put behind us cannot serve us. And every one of us have something. Every one of us have something. So how do we discover this shadow part of us? Because I'm telling you here that each one of us has something that we have disowned about ourselves that is not who we want to be, for whatever reason. Could be good reasons. But we cut off that part of us because it's not acceptable. It may not be acceptable to ourselves. It may not be acceptable to our culture. It may not be acceptable to our religion. And it may go against our peer group. So we take that part and we disown it. Because of the one thing in the world we want is to be accepted and to be part of the whole. It's built into us. So how can we tell if we have put out something in the shadow? And I'm going to say, note what pushes your buttons. What pushes your buttons the most? In your partner, your friends, your work, your business, what pushes your buttons? This is big because it's a clue. We're looking for clues. Remember, it's in the dark, and we have to find it, and it's hard to find it in ourselves. So what qualities do I particularly dislike in others? Just make a note and ponder that. Well, you know, they're that way, and I'm not. Why does it trigger us? Okay, just think about it. Dreams are another really good thing, and I recorded my dreams off and on for a couple of years, and they were absolutely fascinating. Try it. Then look at the ways you have self-sabotaged yourself. When have you worked really hard for something, and you put a lot of emotion into it, and a lot of expectations, and you sabotaged it? Make a note. Just pay attention to these things because they're going to show up in your shadow. And so how can we reclaim these parts? And the thing about the shadow is one of the psychologists said, when we disown those parts, and we don't like them, remember, we don't like those part of us, they will come back like a roaring lion in our life. They will show up like a roaring lion in our life because we don't like them, and they don't like being disliked, and they cannot serve us. So, how do we reclaim these parts? James Hillman, who was a psychologist, a Jungian psychologist, said, the cure for this is love. If we can love and accept all parts of ourselves, these parts will reveal a wisdom to us and a strength. A wisdom and a strength. And so he asks us, how far can we extend love to those broken parts of ourselves? Could my cousin love that part of herself that was maybe just a little like her brothers? Would it have made a difference? Standing up for herself, being independent, being a little wild. I don't know. We must, you guys, we must allow ourselves and others our imperfections. He says, how much charity and compassion have we for our own weaknesses and our sicknesses? And it's interesting in New Thought, we can get pretty down on ourselves even for getting a cold. I think we're a little bit past that, but some of you might remember when that was what's in your consciousness. Jack Kornfield said, in A Path with Heart, struggle and dictating does not work. It does not work. So we must inquire about what aspect in those repeated patterns is asking for acceptance and compassion. See, every part of ourselves is part of ourselves. Every part of ourselves is part of ourselves. Even the parts that we don't care for are a blessing to us if we can turn it around and love those parts. If we can do that, those parts that we find unacceptable, they will become a source of wisdom for us. Does this make sense to any of us? And how many here can identify this morning a part of yourself that you find unacceptable? Yeah, most of us can, can't we? The journey here in New Thought, because we talk about our wholeness, it is to embrace all of us, all of ourselves, because we cannot have compassion for the other who holds the trait that we do not like in ourselves. We don't like it in ourselves, we're not going to like it in you. Does that make sense? Yeah. It's going to make a struggle. There's a poem I have, and I read it all the time. So I'm going to read it again. You can look it up, and I invite you to do that. It's by Rumi. And it says, poets always say things so succinctly when the rest of us go on and on for a long time. It's called The Guest House. This being human is a guest house. Every morning, a new arrival. A joy, a depression, a meanness. Some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all, even if they're a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep your house empty of its furniture. Still, treat each guest honorably. He may be clearing you out for some delight. The dark thought, the shame, the malice, meet them at the door laughing and invite them in. Be grateful for whomever comes, because each has been sent as a guide from beyond. Namaste.
I must be really messed up. I saw during that talk, I thought about 4 or 5 things that I don't like. One of them is being a caretaker and how I had to set boundaries that were really uncomfortable. Anyway, this is a song called The Impossible Dream. Julie requested this song. To dream the impossible dream, to fight the unbeatable foe, to bear one unbearable sorrow, to run where the brave do not go, to right the unrightable wrong, and to love, to chase from afar, to try when your arms are too weary, to reach the unreachable star. This is my quest, to follow that star, no matter how hopeless, no matter how far, to fight for the right, without question or pause, to be willing to march into hell for a heavenly cause. And I know I'll only be true to this glorious quest. That my heart will be peaceful and calm when I lay to my rest, and the world will be better for this. That one man, torn and covered in scars, with his last ounce of courage, to fight the unbeatable foe, to reach the unreachable star, to dream the impossible dream. The impossible dream.
Hallelujah. Was that good or was that good? It was stupendously out of this world to reach the unreachable star. And Julie, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm sitting there just like Blaine, running through my mind. Wow, yeah. No, yeah. No, yeah. Thank you, thank you. This is a time that we have for ourselves to not just reach for an unreachable star, but just reach for that which we know helps where we're at right now. This house of faith does a lot. We're trying to build a community of love, a beloved community. And we do that by sharing what we're doing, sharing what we have. And so we would like to take this moment to ask you and offer you the opportunity to do what's asked of in this offertory affirmation in your program. You'll see it right there. Let's just say that out loud from the heart to the atmosphere in here that is all about love. It starts out, divine love, moving in and through me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God. And so it is.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
Those powerful words you can sing this morning. I am so blessed. We're all so blessed for how we receive and how we give. I want to say thank you. Thank you. Thank you for your blessings. And thank you for knowing that you are blessed, you are loved. And so it is. Okay, let's do our prayer of protection. What do you say? We can stand and do that, right? We start out with the light of God. Let's say it. The light
light
of
of
God
God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
Now let's sing some more. Join hands, stand. Gather in the middle. Keep the hardest place right here. Your mama's. guys are the greatest. I'm glad you came. So you drive all the way back home?
Yeah, we might hit some garage.
When I got up this morning, so good. I got up this morning singing, God is so good. I got up this morning singing, God is so good. My God is so good to me. Feeling good down in my soul. God is so good. Feeling good down in my soul. God is so good. Feeling good down in my soul. God is so good. My God is so good to me. Well, when my day is over singing, God is so good. When my day is over singing, God is so good. When my day is over singing, God is so good. My God is so good to me. My God is so good. My God is so good to me.